What's up everyone, I'm Ron, that's Magic, we're in the TST Garage, and I'd like to humbly welcome you to our very first countdown video on TST Garage Talk. Today we are sharing with you our collective top 10 motorcycle scenes of all time. Now most of us being millennials here, we were heavily influenced by motorcycle cameos in movies throughout our childhood, and it really pushed us into the direction of the motorcycle world and to become eventual motorcycle owners. Now join me as we drop a gear and disappear down nostalgia lane and review our top 10 motorcycle scenes in chronological order, because we don't play favorites. Let's go. Starting off our list is none other than the insanely iconic scene from 1986's Top Gun, starring a very young and very strapping Tom Cruise racing a freaking F-14 fighter jet down an airstrip on his 1986 Kawasaki GPZ 900R, or as us Americans know it by, the Ninja. Now, not many things are cooler than motorcycles, fighter jets, and ironic nicknames.
That's him, Iceman.
Why are you so sweaty? And this movie proved it. We see Maverick's Ninja several more times throughout the movie as he picks up his love interest for a date, transports himself around town, sick jump, and even stares longingly at a fighter jet at sundown, but nothing tops that memorable scene of him ripping down that airstrip. Talk about goosebumps. I distinctly remember watching this movie as a young lad and making the decision to be a future bike owner, and ironically enough, my very first motorcycle was in fact a Kawasaki Ninja. Up next, we are served 1997's absolute joke of a Batman movie, Batman and Robin. At the time, we thought this movie was just what the world needed, but in retrospect, we were served a lackluster dish of bat cards,
never leave the cave without it,
bat nips, and of course, Coolio. Nevertheless, the Moto Night Race featuring Barbara Wilson / Batgirl, played by the beautiful Alicia Silverstone, featured a badass Batgirl racing for her life to help pay for her Uncle Alfred's treatments. Because apparently his ultra-rich master just didn't give an F about him. I don't know. Racing through the streets of a very colorful and balloon-filled Gotham, Barbara is unknowingly followed by none other than Robin, who eventually saves her life as their bikes and bodies slide down the half-completed bridge at the end of the track. Not sure why the end of the track was like that, but hey, we'll leave that up to director Joel Schumacher to explain, which he never did. Now, after some digging to try and identify these bikes, we notice in the end credits they do give a special thanks to Honda, but with their bikes being so heavily modded for the movie, it's kind of difficult to pin down exactly what models they're on. It could be a Shadow, VLX, but according to the official book of Batman and Robin, the making of the movie, which unsurprisingly has better reviews than the movie itself, the bikes are aptly dubbed the Schumacher 9000X, which is Dick Grayson / Robin's customized motorcycle, and the Silverstone 2001X, Barbara Wilson's customized motorcycle. Four years later, we were blessed with the OG car movie that may have possibly been the greatest inspiration for our generation's gearheads. We present The Fast and the Furious. This 2001 cult classic may have been a tuner car movie directed at car enthusiasts, but no one can deny how badass Johnny Tran and his crew looked pulling up to the protagonists Dom Toretto and Brian O'Connor in Brian's riced-out Eclipse as they escort them back to Tran's compound. Snakeskin pants, exploding cars, and green flames are only second to the badass bikes in this scene. As we watch the drama unfold, our eyes dance around the screen with all the shiny fairings and exhausts surrounding that super ricey Eclipse. Tran himself riding the 97 CBR 900RR Fireblade, his brother Lance on the 98 Yamaha YZF R1, and this scene also features a 97 Gixxer 600, a 98 CBR 600 F3, and a few other bikes that aren't quite as easy to identify. If you know what they are, comment below, but badass nonetheless. Coming in at number 7 is quite possibly the number 1 scene that put Ducati at the forefront of our collective minds in 2004. The Wachowski sisters had us on the edge of our seats as we watch yet another baddie on a bike prove that tight leather suits, leader bikes, and highway chases are the fastest way to a young boy's heart. I love you, Trinity. This scene follows Trinity as she tries to get the keymaker to safety as she hijacks a Ducati 996, launches off the front of a semi, and then expertly navigates the Metro World traffic. including a sick 180 burnout, forcing her to negotiate oncoming traffic at exceptional speeds, all while fighting the perilous pack of agents.
One ticket to Tokyo, please.
Oh, did you think we were done talking about baddies on bikes and leather suits? No, not at all. In a scene with almost zero dialogue, one cannot help but feel the impending action as the Crazy 88 escort O-Ren Aishi through the streets of Tokyo on a pack of blacked out Yamaha FZ400 phasers. Meanwhile, our golden-haired heroine Beatrix Kiddo, atop her matching yellow Kawasaki ZZR 250, hunts down Sophie Fatale in her Nissan Fairlady Z. Throw in a brutal flashback. A quick change in soundtrack tempo, and my goodness, do you have a motorcycle scene for the ages. While most of these videos bring back pleasant waves of nostalgia, sometimes we have to stop and plug our noses as we recall the absolute dumpster fire of a movie that Torque was.
Little Power Rangers, all right?
Hey!
Chasing the coattails of Fast and Furious fandom, audiences endured an excruciating 84 minutes of oversaturated color grades, terrible CGI, and even worse dialogue.
My life a quarter mile at a time.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's not until the end of the film that we're blessed with a modern-day joust complete with modern-day endorsements. A knife fight, and death by a windshield? I don't know. It's this scene especially that stands out as China and Shane duke it out on their respective YZF R1 and Suzuki GSF 1200S Bandit. As this comically directed bike fight ends, we link back up with the main character Ford as he chases down a villain on a Harley with the infamous Y2K rocket bike. Notably owned by Jay Leno, this bike made its big screen debut as it rockets down the road at speeds of, I don't know, 1 billion miles an hour as windows explode, skirts lift, cars float off the ground, and the inevitable GTA-inspired backflip off an inclined flatbed. Yes, this was a real movie, and no, nothing about it even borders on the realm of realism. God, I miss the early 2000s. There are many lasting legacies in the motorcycle world, but one that comes to mind is none other than the Honda CR/CRF line, dating all the way back to the early 1970s. And speaking of legacy, coming in at number 4 is none other than the badass Honda CRF 450? 450X? The Honda dual sport motorcycle scene in the 2012 Bourne Legacy. Jeremy Renner's Aaron Cross deftly maneuvers his stolen Honda through the streets of Manila, all while having his co-star on his back. What seals the deal as a top scene for us is the fact that Aaron does a freaking dirt bike grind on a staircase. I mean, come on, come on. With the MCU absolutely dominating the box office over the past decade, it is no surprise that one of their films made it onto the list. And sure, we have some sweet shots of Cap riding and launching and destroying some old bikes, but in the scene that did it for us is the ScarJo as Black Widow launching out of the Quinjet on a bike that didn't even officially exist at the time. That's right, Harley's Livewire made its very first appearance to the public in this 2015 Avengers scene where Black Widow pulls off some sweet drifts, jumps, and stoppies, all on a prototype electric bike. And not only is the only prototype bike on the list, which eventually hit the market a few years later, but it's the only electric bike on this list as well. Neat. All of these scenes have mostly featured the main character looking cool as hell, whipping their two-wheeled machines around, so it's this scene from the very first Deadpool movie that actually showcases the demise of Ajax's henchman Deadpool set out to take down. Our favorite merc with a mouth quickly dispatches 2 Ducati Panigale 1299s using
maximum effort. Ow! Ow!
Not only do badass bikes deserve recognition, but whoever the hell came up with using a bike chain to decapitate the rider is just, mwah, chef's kiss. I mean, well done. Hats off to you. Topping off our list in the #1 spot is the jaw-dropping, high-speed, epic chase down the Verrazano Narrows Bridge fight scene in John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, where a fleet of samurai sword-wielding assassins on Yamaha MT-09s chase down our favorite dog Avenger in hopes of assassinating him before reaching protection ground at the Continental. All in all, this absolutely stunning, half-real, half-CGI movie magic scene reps one of our favorite hyper-naked bikes at this time. Let's take a moment to bask in this modern-day motorcycle choreography. Alright guys, many thanks to a lot of you for joining us on this whimsical, action-packed motorcycle madness adventure. It has truly been a blast to revisit some of the best bike-based cinematic scenes in modern-day film. Love them or hate them, these scenes help shape us into the motorcycle junkies we are today, and hot damn if we're not ready for our next two-wheeled silver screen fix. Until then, take a moment to stop by our online store, tstindustries.com. We have a bunch of industry-leading parts for your bike, as well as any other bikes you may have in your stable. Be sure to check out the merch section if you've already decked all your bikes out with all of our parts and want to spread the love. If you've enjoyed this top 10 list, give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and do me a favor, drop a comment below. Which of these scenes helped shape you as the motorcycle fanatic you are today? What scenes did I miss? What scenes should we toss into the next one? We want to hear it all. Until next time, this is Ron with TST Garage Talk. Ride smart.